What is a recession in simple terms? A recession is a period when the economy slows down significantly. It is marked by a sustained decline or stagnation in real GDP and a noticeable rise in unemployment. Think of it like this. Imagine the economy is a car. When the economy is booming, the car is cruising along. But during a recession, that car starts to sputter, slowing down significantly, or even coming to a complete stop. One of the biggest indicators of this slowdown is a drop in real GDP, which is the value of all the goods and services produced in a country. Now you might be thinking, okay, so the economy slows down. What's the big deal? Well, recessions have a nasty habit of triggering a whole domino effect. When the economy slows down, businesses feel the pinch first. Sales drop, and suddenly those profit margins aren't looking so hot. To compensate, companies might start cutting costs, often by laying off employees. This leads to higher unemployment, which then leads to less spending, further fueling the economic slowdown. To really understand how this works, let's rewind the clock back to the 1970s. Remember the oil crisis? Oil prices suddenly shot up through the roof. This meant that businesses and everyday people had to spend way more on anything related to oil, like gasoline. And because everyone was shelling out so much cash for fuel, they had less money to spend on other things. This decrease in overall spending ultimately led to, you guessed it, a recession. So far, we've been talking about recessions, but sometimes things can get even more intense. Enter the financial crisis. Think of a financial crisis as a recession's bigger, scarier, older sibling. This is when the entire financial system starts to wobble. And I'm not talking about a little tremor. I'm talking full-on earthquake. The value of financial instruments and assets takes a nosedive. Businesses struggle to pay their bills, banks hesitate to lend money, and everyone's running around like they've just seen a ghost. Now I know what you're thinking. This all sounds terrifying. Give me some examples. Don't worry, I've got you covered. History is full of financial crises, unfortunately. We've got the granddaddy of them all, the Great Depression, triggered by a stock market crash, the collapse of the gold standard, and erratic monetary policies. This crisis devastated global economies. Then there's the Panic of 1907, which saw a 50% drop in the US stock market, led to widespread bank bankruptcies. And let's not forget the 1998 Russian financial crisis. A combination of a currency devaluation, a banking collapse, and mounting debt triggered this crisis, and the Asian financial crisis, sparked by external currency devaluations and internal banking issues. This crisis impacted several Asian economies. The good news is that, just like with recessions, there are often warning signs that a financial crisis might be brewing. One of the biggest red flags is rapid debt growth. Rapid debt expansion often precedes banking crises. The larger the debt bubble, the more severe the crisis can be. Another warning sign is asset price inflation and collapse. When asset prices rise far beyond their true value, they can spur economic growth temporarily. However, their eventual collapse can lead to recessions or depressions. Consumer spending decline. Reduced consumer spending lowers business revenue, leading to layoffs and further economic contraction. Falling real GDP growth. A consistent decline in GDP growth often signals an impending economic crisis. Rising inflation, higher than normal inflation rates indicate an economy under pressure. Decline in manufacturing jobs. Job losses in manufacturing are often an early indicator of economic trouble. Rising unemployment. Persistent job losses and surging unemployment are strong signs of a recession already in progress. While these challenges can seem overwhelming, history shows that economies recover with resilience and the right strategies. Stay informed, stay prepared, and remember, every downturn is an opportunity to rebuild stronger.